Welcome to Speaking Up with Jessica Dumas. I'm a certified life coach that specializes in business, leadership, and all things speaking and confidence mindset. Let's chat. Hey friends, how's it going? I hope everyone is doing good in this January weather and, embracing the ups and downs in life that life's going to give you. Let me be your reminder that your emotions and your feelings are part of being human. So if you're feeling those go up and down throughout the day, don't be too hard on yourself. I hope that you're finding things in your life that make you feel good about being you. Today, I want to talk about an email that I received a little while ago, and it was someone who had a story to tell. And I know that not everyone is ready for coaching. Not everyone is ready to invest in coaching, and that's totally fine. If you are, hit me up at Jessica Dumas Coach on Instagram or Facebook. But I realize that not everyone is ready for that. And you know what? I'm here to support you. Either way, I'm doing my best. And so here is some of what came out from the email, okay? And then we're going to jump into 3 pieces of advice that I'm going to share with you as a response to this. So the email was quite lengthy, so I'm not going to read all of it. And thank you to those of you who send emails at jessicadumas.ca is my website. You can reach out to me there as well. And I really appreciate hearing from you. And it's really important for me to know what's going on in communities so that I can help you. So here is part of the email. What came out of it is this person has something to say. Okay. I'm not a quiet person. She says, I'm outspoken. I say what's on my mind, but it's not getting me very far. People say that I'm good at what I do and I'm really good when I speak up, but I know I need to polish up because I want allies, not enemies. But I'm very intimidating. I know that I intimidate people. I don't mean to. This is not the way that I am, but I just have so much hurt and I have so much to share. And so first of all, I just want to acknowledge, thank you for being open. Thank you for bringing your story to me. I want to acknowledge your hurt. I know that based on what you shared in your email, and for anyone else, if you're feeling like there's a place that I'm just not being heard, I just want to give you some credit and I just want to acknowledge you. And I just want you to know that I see you. And even though you don't always get to tell your story in the way that you want, there are little things that you can start to do. So we're going to talk a little bit about that because it's important to be heard. It's validating to be heard. And it helps others when we're heard. And we don't want to push people away when we are sharing our stories. Sometimes it's just because we just want to be heard. And that comes through the way that we present ourselves. So this message is for you if you have a story to tell, or maybe you are someone who speaks from time to time and you've had an opportunity to speak to an audience, whether that be chiefs and councils, whether that be, other audiences that, you could potentially get something from, and not get something as in like this is all about you, but often people want to share their stories because we want to make a difference. We want to be heard because we know that there are other people out there suffering from that same experience. And we know that speaking up can make that change. That's always the goal. When people come to me and they invest in coaching and I work with them long term, it's because they have something, a message inside them that's just burning, and they know that it is their purpose here on earth to share their experience. And this is what I help them do. Is I help them decide what is the solution. So that's going to be the first piece of advice is when you have a message to share, you want your story to be heard and you want to be acknowledged for what you've experienced and you want to be cared for, and you have to give yourself some of that care and you have to seek that, right? You have to seek that because no one is going to take care of that for you. Sometimes that's the harsh truth, but we need to do that on our own. We need to take care of us. We can find community and have people in our lives and reach out to therapists or coaches or, wherever you can get that support, but it's really up to us. And so when you have an issue that you want to speak out of, you need to come with some solutions. You need to say, this is the problem that I see. This is what people are experiencing, and here's the solution. So that's the first thing, is what are some of those solutions? Journal them out, write them out, talk about them. The more that you talk about the solution, the more that you're attracting those opportunities to come to you. It might sound far-fetched, but trust me on this one. Because the more that you talk about the problem, the more that you talk about what you've experienced, then you're just kind of holding yourself there. So what are the solutions? What are the solutions that you want to bring to people? What are solutions that you want to bring to systems? What are the solutions that would have helped you in your situation? And so here's something else, that if you've ever walked away from an opportunity where you had to speak, or an opportunity where you had someone to listen. I know that there is sometimes the panic before you speak. There's like, oh my goodness, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? What is it that they want to hear? I have so much to say, right? And then afterward, there's that experience of, oh, I forgot to say this, or I wish I would have said that. So this has been my experience as a speaker. I have been there. And again, this is what I coach my clients through. I have been a guest speaker. I've been a keynote speaker. I've been a media guest, event host, moderator. I have a podcast, the Confidence and Communication Podcast, and this show. And I have so many opportunities to speak. And I have to prepare. And I'm sure many of us, we go into things and we prepare. And sometimes we over prepare. We talk about too many things. So this is the second piece of advice I want to share with you today, is what are 3 things you want people to know about you or your story? And if you're an entrepreneur, which is who I work with, what are 3 things you want people to know about your service? And so please remember 3 things. Take that away. 3 things. When you have an opportunity to speak to an audience, especially if it's a short one, I always invite all of my speakers, you prepare for a 10-minute talk, and you're going to cover 3 points. And 3, because 4, 5, 6 is just too many. You're never going to get it in 10 minutes. And it's just going to sound all jumbled, and it might not make any sense. And maybe it will make sense, but it's going to be too much. Then people are walking away from your talk and they're just like, that was so much, I don't know what to do with this information. So if you follow the rule of 3, which is a common rule in communication, and it's so popular, our brains are so used to it because it's so good. It's something that's been happening over our entire lifetime. This is what I mean. When you use the concept of 3 or ideas of 3, or you talk in groups of 3, our brains can connect and remember it easy. We see this in titles, in history, in advertising, in kids' books. Each of them work with the goal of 3 takeaways, 3 points, 3 ideas, 3 concepts. So I'm going to jump to the titles because those are the most easiest thing to relate to. But if you listen to something like Ready, Set, Go, right? That's 3 points. Tic-tac-toe. Blood, sweat, and tears. Lights, camera, action. Gold, silver, bronze. Hip, hip, hooray. 3 takeaways, 3 points, 3 ideas, 3 concepts. So when you are preparing a 10-minute talk, if you have 3 points out of all of the things that you want people to hear, out of all of the things, and sometimes there's a lot, I know. Sometimes there's years of information that is built up. But again, we're talking about solutions, right? Number 1, what is the solution? And number 2, what are the top 3 points? What are the top 3 points that you want people to take away? What do you want them to know about your story? What do you want them to know about your solution? And in 10 minutes, that's what you prepare for. You might only get 2 minutes. You might get 5 minutes. You might get 25 minutes. But if you prepare for 10, you know your top 3. And then you can break each of those 3 points into subcategories as well. And that's how you start to take your 10-minute talk and you build it into a 15-minute talk or a 60-minute talk. So 3 points in 10 minutes, that's 1 point. You get to discuss it for 3 minutes, and then you have a quick little intro. And I know many of us, we like to share long intros, but you know what? People stop listening. I'm sorry, it's true. The quicker that you are, the more people are engaged. And the way that we communicate has changed. We used to, when we would come to a new place or territory, and don't hate on me. I'm the messenger, truly. We no longer can go into 30-minute introductions. No one's listening. The way that we take in information has changed. It's so quick. We think about social media. It was during 2020 where the rise of online like TikTok and Reels on Instagram in 2020 is all of us were at home, right? What are we going to do? We're going to go on our phones. We're going to scroll. We're going to make videos. We're doing all of this. And the number of people that joined TikTok, I don't know what the numbers are. I didn't look that up. I didn't know I'd be mentioning it, but it increased so high and so quickly. People want video. And the next thing that happened is we started to scroll really quick. And if you are someone who goes on social media or TikTok or even flipping through channels, like how quickly our brains are taking in information. Like we decide really quickly, do we want to listen to this? No. And we're going to swipe. And we do that in like 2 seconds. So if you're going to pick up your phone, or if you're using your phone right now, I want you to think about how quick you're scrolling to the next topic, because the way that we are taking in information is quicker. So our 10-minute talk, we have a 1-minute intro, just 1 minute. Who are you? Why are you here? Tell us the Coles notes. We need to know really quickly. And then the third piece of advice is, what is your call to action? So you've decided what your solution is. You've decided 3 points, and I'm only going to talk about them for 3 minutes for each point, which is really quick. And that means I need to do some homework. I need to get to the point because people's attention spans are short. So we need to talk quickly. And the last thing that you're going to do is your call to action. So what do you want people to do? What is your recommendation? So it might sound similar to the solution, and in some ways it is, right? What is the solution? What is the call to action? But that's something that people often miss. And it's something that leaders, or when you're taking your talk to speak to someone who you want them to do something because this is so meaningful to you, well, they want solutions. They have all the problems. They know all the problems. We know the problems. So what are the solutions? We want to hear that from you. When you have opportunities to present your talk, prepare for 10 minutes. What are your top 3 points? In advance, think about your solution and think about your call to action. I hope that this is something that's been helpful for you. Let me know your thoughts. If you are interested in coaching and you want to know more, you can check out my website at jessicadumas.ca, and that's how you can find me on Instagram, and Jessica Dumas Coach on Facebook. I have a 4-month program that is closing on Friday. That's tomorrow. When you clarify your speaking offers and services and you learn to see the value in what you provide with your voice, you'll confidently showcase what you are an expert in, and I will show you how to do that through coaching. You'll stop second guessing yourself and stop worrying about what other people think. And that's for solo entrepreneurs if you're interested in real investment. Thanks so much for your time. I hope that you have a great and fabulous week, and I can't wait to chat with you again next week, Thursday. See you then. Thank you so much for your time. Miigwech, ekose, merci. Get in touch with me on Instagram or my website at jessicadumas.ca.